Thank you so much for tuning in. Today I'm going to show you how I created this $50 graduation money bouquet. As always, the items that I use will be linked in my description. If it's not the exact item, it is something similar. So to start off, I already had these bills folded because I had used them from something else and they were just already pre-prepared. If you need help, I have other videos where it shows my process of how I fold my bills. This was definitely a time saver, and for the future, I may pre-make some because it just makes getting orders, being able to customize them even quicker. Now, usually when I do these roses, I just use the rose on the stem that it comes with, but I saw in another video, the person creating them actually used the stick and glue gunned it in there. I'm not going to glue gun it, but I am going to use this stick for more support and to see if I like how it pans out that way. Now, you're not going to hear me talk as much on this video because I wanted to get this video out. And unfortunately, my voice is going in and out. I just had my allergies were acting up very, very bad. So I'm trying to save my voice. But if you notice something different, if you're new to my channel, you might not recognize this. But for my subscribers who have been here for a while, this is something different I'm trying to do. So I did it across, but I also did another view on the side that gives you a different angle. So one is from above and one is straight on. And I tried to time them to the best of my ability, line them up so that it's showing you, the same thing at the same time. It may be off by a second, or half a second or so, but I really, and sorry for when it goes out of the screen, but I was really attempting to try to get it so you can kind of see, because I know from up top you can't see what the sticks look like. But when I do the angle from the straight on angle where you can see like maybe where I'm placing the sticks, it's kind of hard to see what it looks like from the top. So I'm just trying different things. So bear with me. These next couple videos will be, you know, me trying different angles. I do another video where instead of from the front, I'll give you like the angle from behind me, because I know sometimes I miss some things, but I'm trying. Let me know in the comments if you like this method or if you think like it's too much going on. If you just like the one video, you know, and I do know that I will go in and out of frame a couple times, but bear with me because I am the one creating the bouquets. I'm the one who records my videos, and I'm the one who edits the videos, to do the voiceover, everything. I do everything, and this is in addition to working full-time. So I'm just trying this out. Let me know what you think in the comments. And this is the first one. I'm definitely going to do a couple more, but I know I already did it, a spoiler alert. So in this video, I was trying to count, because in a lot of my videos, people ask how many bills do you use, and I never counted them out because every time I think it seems to be different, and if it doesn't line up right, I always find a way to finesse it. Well, I definitely counted it out. In the first go round, I messed up, and like there were still like a couple bills that were left, or I don't think it was enough. So I ended up taking, the row out. So if you're following along, you can still follow along, but just be warned that once I get to the third row, I am going to take out 2 rows. And I do fast forward that part where I'm taking out the rows. But I also wanted to be transparent in this video, because usually whenever you see this, it's just like, oh, you know, you make that money bouquet so easy. No, that's because I edit it. I just show you the good parts. But for some people who may be frustrated, and you figure I've been making these bouquets for a while now, there's still times where I mess up, or I don't like the way it looks, or, oh, look, these flowers are too high. You know, I mess around with it, and sometimes I do have to redo things. So I want this to encourage anybody who's doing this as a hobby or thinking about doing it as a side hustle. Sometimes, you know, things don't go as planned, and I myself still do things over, and it's okay. So we're human, and we are making progress, not perfection, but the more you do it, the better you get. So shout out to everybody who's making these bouquets. It is not easy. And kudos to you for, you know, doing this endeavor.
I wanna think about every time you look at my way. I wanna make the most of this high, I wanna talk about every time you wanted to stay. I wanna make the most of this night. So what do you say? Why don't we give it a try? Baby, don't let the summer go by. Baby, now I don't wanna say goodbye. Baby, maybe we should give it a try. Why don't we give it a try? Here's another party I didn't attend, and here's another boy I forgot to kiss. Here's another life that I forgot to live, 'cause in my head, that's where I've been. 'Cause how was I supposed to know this was a party of a century, that there was somebody that I was supposed to meet? The way you're describing it sounds like make-believe. I should have been the first to know, but wait, no one really invited me. Well, I wasn't really feeling too well anyway. I've got a bad case of FOMO. Fear of missing what I don't know. I bet Diddy had champagne poppin'. I bet Bieber had all the girls flocking. I bet Khaled had every key unlocked. I bet Hova had beat throwing up the rock. I bet Oprah was handing out cards. I bet Bruno was headed to Mars. Bet my night wasn't better than yours, 'cause I ended up spending it alone. But how was I supposed to know? This was a party of a century, and there was somebody that was supposed to meet. The way you're describing it sounds like make-believe. I should have been the first to know. But wait, no one really invited me. Well, I wasn't really feeling too well anyway. I've got a bad case of FOMO. Fear of missing what I don't know. Got a bad case of FOMO. Don't you tell me what I don't know, 'cause I don't wanna hear what I missed.
So if you're following along, you will still be able to complete this money bouquet. But like I said, I got to the end of the third row and it was just not giving what I wanted it to give. So I literally take them out. But luckily, when I take them out, I recount it and everything worked out to a T. So the bad news is, if you were doing this and counting along, it may have messed you up, but it shouldn't have. Maybe like you were just doing this and using it as like a timer, or just a way to see, oh, she's placing the money there and the sticks look like that. I try to have the sticks upright. But the good news is, the second time around, I do the count better. Because I think I was missing one. And I was like, okay. I even tried to mess around with it first before taking it apart. Because sometimes there's a way that you can fit more. Because it looks like 1.5 bills could fit in that spot. So there's a way that you can finesse it to like where I could have made it do that empty space, but that was like kind of a big gap to be filling. And then I was like, oh, maybe that second row is a little crowded, but I already knew that first row, I had squished too many dollar bills. Like the row, that's the circle that's immediately around the roses. You see like how some of them are turning a little bit? That's because I have them too tight in there. So in the back of my mind, or deep down inside, I already knew I had messed up and that I did too many. Alright, so I was like, something's gotta give, because I didn't have enough. So I redid it, and I redid it twice, and the numbers that I came up with were I think it was either 12, 17, and 21 is what I did, or it was 12, 16, and 22 to get the 50 bills. But I really believe the numbers were 12, 17, 21. Or like I said, it might have been 12, 16, and then 22. So the row immediately around the flowers should be 12. The next row should be 16. And the next row should be 22. Or, because originally I did 13, 17, 20. that didn't go right. Or if it wasn't the 12, 16, 22, the 12, 17, 21 will get you 50. So those numbers, for people that are asking about the numbers, that's what'll get you there. But look, you can see your girl was struggling. I was doing everything, and by the time I did all that, it would have been quicker for me to just take it out and to put it back in there. There are 7 roses. So 7 roses, 12 immediately next to that. You're either going to do 16 or 17 in a row after that. And then depending on if you do 16, it'll be 22 for that third row. Or if you did 17, it'll be 21. I got that in my comments. Like I said, when you all leave the comments, the good comments and like the feedback, I take it all into consideration. And I use it because we're helping each other grow and we're helping each other to do better. So I hope this helps someone out that, needed the numbers. That's just the numbers that I came up with. I'm not sure, how it will work with you. So with 7 roses, once again, you're going to have 12. That's definitely the number around that first thing that I use. And it's either 16 for the second circle around and 22 for the third, or it's either 12, 17, and 21. If you make these bouquets, do you count them out, your rows that you do, or do you freestyle? Let me know in the comments, and I will stop talking so you can see the video. Or if you like when I talk through the whole video, let me know that in the comment as well. I was just trying some different things out. I got some different music for my license. I'm not sure what all the songs were, but they have a nice little beat. So if you're the type that likes to just follow along and listen to the music, I know sometimes I'll put YouTube on when I'm cleaning, and I'll have one of those videos on where people are like deep cleaning and they just let the music play in the background while they're cleaning. That's nice too. So let me know if you want to hear more of what I'm telling you to do, or if you just sometimes like me, like, hey girl, we can see what you're doing. You don't gotta talk through the whole thing. But I also like to talk through the whole thing too, because I like to let you know what I'm doing. So if you see, I took that one out, and already these Money Bouquet, the little ones, they feel relief. Like, yes, sis don't got us all jammed up on each other. So remember, you don't want to have them too close. You want to give them a little room to breathe. And hopefully this is helping somebody. Now, it may look like, oh my goodness, this is taking a long time, but I think when I looked at how long it took to do the 3 rows, it was only like 8 minutes. So it took me longer because I was in denial and I was trying to do the most to try to squeeze through them little sections to do that, than if it would have took me just redoing the thing from the beginning. So I kind of already knew once I completed that second row. But I was just being so optimistic, I'm going to make it work. It would have saved me time if I would have, once I did that second row, just, went back and was like, nah, this ain't it. Because the second row the first time, like I said, it seemed like it was going to work, but the stuff never really made it all the way around. It was only like a 3 bill difference, and yeah, it would have been better just to redo it. So now that I've redone the first circle around, do you see that look, how much is different? So you will hear me in my videos say, if you get them too close, that's when they start going every which way. So I'll have people that purchase my Money Bouquets and they're like, oh my gosh, it is so straight. This is why it's so straight, because I don't leave it all cramped. And if it is too cramped, I'm not afraid to loosen it. So that's one key thing. All right, so wait. Let's keep track of this so we could get the right number, because I wrote down a couple things. So that was 3. Here goes 4. We're at 5, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Was that 5? Here's 6. Possibly 6. 7. And I think my video is a little off. 8. 9. But you get the gist. I know that video in the back is not moving the same way I thought it was before. 10. But like, once again, I wanted you to see how these sticks look. That's 11. I try to place them upright because the more you tilt them, it'll start to go down. Like, was that 12? This is 13. Like that did when I was making that big $400 one. If you didn't see that little short, I made a $400 one, and instead of it looking like a bouquet, it looked like a bush. So I was like, oh man, what was this? I don't want to count. 16. And this was 17. Did I really try to squeeze another one in there? Or was I off one? Or did I take that out? Okay, maybe that is 17. For the people that was counting, I think that was 17. I was writing it down. And what's crazy is because I am doing this voiceover, I can't hear what I was saying, because I know I said it in this part of the video, but I took the sound out from the old videos, and I don't even think I had stuff on in the background so I could keep the whole sound on during this. I'm trying to read my lips on the side right there, because I'm probably doing a math problem. It's a little off, but you get the gist of it. It's one of those numbers. I'll try to do better the next time again. But that looks way better. So much better. To see your name on a star on Hollywood Boulevard. You wanna run the world? No, you want the whole wide world to run around you. But we are almost at the home stretch, y'all. And this looks so much better than it did the first time I did that. So, like I said before, it doesn't always go right initially, and that's okay. And I'm just doing my once over. My little view again. Yeah, the timer was off. I wonder where it got off at, because I'm still putting them in on the other side. So note to self, make sure it lined up. I think it might have messed up because I sped up. Oh, so when I sped up the part I was taking them off, I don't think I sped up the part I was taking them off in the original video. So that's why it's lagging. I apologize, but guess what? I'm not going back to find that part where it was sped up at. But I think I got it back together here, or close to it. Oh, maybe I didn't. Maybe I sped it up on two different entities, because I did have this part lined up as well. Is that going to bother you? Because it might bother me. We'll just let this one rat out, because that's what else I'm doing. I'm also using a different editing tool, because the thing I usually use to edit my video, I couldn't figure it out how to get this little thing in the corner. So with this one, I was able to get it in the corner. But note to self, if you speed up something, you have to speed it up on both of the things. So this is very unfortunate, because I really took the time to have all this lined up, and now it's not lined up, because I was like, okay, it'll be back together when I do this paper. Psych, because I didn't speed up the other thing. So let me see if at this point I can fix something. So I will be right back, but I'm just counting out the paper right now, you know, that I need to use, because I don't even think I do the whole paper the whole way through. But I'm counting out the sheets. When I use 3 colors, it's 2 of each color, because I usually use a grand total of 6. So before I get to the folding part, I'm going to make sure that these videos are lined up.
That's just the way it goes. That's just the way it goes. The way it goes. That's just the way it goes. That's just the way it goes. That's just the way it goes. The way it goes. That's just the ballin', spotting, ballin'. Phone was dry, but now everybody calling. Good at taking risks, yeah, I always go all in. Swear to God that I'm deaf to the talking. I can't hear it. See the finish line, I know that I'm near it. Yeah, cut the check and I'ma clear it. Ain't nobody out here that I'm fearing.
Okay, everyone, I checked, and unfortunately I didn't know how to fix it, but it seems like this is pretty close to it. So once again, my apologies, and next time I'm gonna just keep everything at the regular speed. It was just when I was taking that money apart, I didn't want to waste time with me pulling them out, because that wasn't anything that you needed to see. But unfortunately, I couldn't time it back up, but at least it's a little bit closer together now. But now it seems like the video up top sped up. I don't know. I'll get it together for the next one, if I do the next one like this. This was fun, and like I said, I'm new, I'm learning, but I appreciate the feedback. I don't know how to get, so it was like one is an overlay. I don't know how to get this overlay to back so I could edit that, and I think that was the issue. I don't know what I did. It kind of smushed it all together, and when I try to click on it, it's not coming out. So that's something in the future I'll definitely research. But I'm just happy that this worked. I figured out how to do the voiceover. I figured out how to add my music. So I try to do stuff to make better content. You know, these are longer videos, but it kind of helps. So wrapping or folding is where people get jammed up a lot. And I always say you gotta find a method that works for you. And also what I learned today, I was using this different kind of paper. Paper matters. So you see, most of the time now, I just use tape. But I had some of these papers with a cap and gown. Not a cap and gown, like a cap and diploma. And that paper was not staying with the tape. So guess what I had to do? I had to staple it. And I hate using staples, just because, like, if you mess up, sometimes you have to rip it and it rips the paper. you know, when you're trying to get the staple out, and I don't like that. So I prefer the tape because the tape comes right off and it's easier. But yes, whenever you're doing these folds, I like to do like a big L shape in the corner, and then I like to fold it so that these little triangles, is this a triangle? Sort of a triangle, but like the points at the bottom, I like them to look a certain way, because when you go to tape it on your bouquet, I like my points to be at every point when I flip it over, so it kind of looks like a design. Now, how big you make the space is up to you. The bigger the space, the bigger the, you know, the arrows. So if you look, that's how big my, not arrows, my points, my triangles will be. That's how big mine will be for the duration. Not the duration. Oh my gosh, what am I talking about? That's how big it'll be for the Money Bouquet. That's how you get that final look. So you make them too tight, they'll just be closer together. I like mine spread apart at a decent length. Alright, here's the next fun part. So a key thing to remember, I personally keep the plastic wrapped around the dry foam because I have bad allergies, and when you and I have asthma. When you take this stuff out, like the plastic off of it, it like lets some little particles go everywhere, and I feel like I'm breathing them in. So what I do, keep the plastic on, and it helps the tape adhere to it better as well. So I usually count down. You can see in the smaller video in the corner, you see how like there's 4 blocks into that one. So I usually count down 2 blocks, or count up 2 blocks, 2.5 blocks for these 8-inch skewers. And I probably could have did 3 because they're so long, but you'll see. And I lift it up to check to make sure that I like the placement of it. Because if I don't like the placement, that means I need to either lower them or, you know, replace it. So I do, there's 4 sides, and there's a side that's a little bit smaller because it's not a square, it's like a rectangle. The smaller side, I place the paper directly in the center. The bigger side, I place the paper towards the ends, because towards the end, since that one is in the center, it kind of spaces it out better. So I hope you're able to see on this main screen like how close to the corner I do that one, and then the next one I do it to the opposite end, but it balances out the overlap. And then you also want to have one in underneath. Well, I can't say you. I make them overlap. So one paper over top of the other one. So I hope you're able to see that with these different angles. Stuff that you might not have seen before. Now this part, remember I was saying where them points line up? I like a certain flow to where they line up at. So I'm literally just looking at where they're at, and then that's where I decide where I will tape my paper to the next piece. Sometimes I tape it at the top and then I fix the ends. But sometimes it's easier to take the ends down first and then take the top part to make it more secure. But either way, like I said, I line mine up because I like those points to be like in a certain pattern. I don't like everything to be bunched up, and I don't like everything to be too far apart. So I found that if you line that up right, it'll help your bouquet look better. And then I'll put one more seal at the end just to give it more security. So you'll see that whenever I lift it up. And I apologize, I'm trying to do this so that my hand isn't blocking the camera so you can see where I'm putting this tape at, but it's having me hold it in like an awkward position. But hopefully you're able to see this. Now wrapping the pail, I literally don't put anything in the pail. It is literally the pail and what you see me doing with the paper. I almost do it in like I'm wrapping a gift. I try to make the edges smooth, but that's how it turns out. I don't put anything in there to hold it. Somebody asked, do I use anything so that it doesn't tip over? It doesn't tip over. I've had this outside when the wind is blowing, and you know, that's the only time sometimes it'll tip over if it's like a lot of wind blowing fast, and then when it tips over, my bouquet and everything is still in place, but I literally do nothing other than what you are seeing me do here, as far as security. I just press it in there, and I guess this rectangle shape helps it hold its place. Maybe bunching that paper up in there gives it a little more support, but that's it. The other part that I just sped up was me taping the sides up so that the money isn't hanging down. And I tried to do this, but I kind of messed up. But you'll see me switch sides. I'm just using a pen. So this 2025, I got that from the Dollar Tree. And I kind of liked it, but I put it on the end with a flower. I didn't like it was like sticking up, so I used it on the other side because that flower down there was like down. The center flower is up more, and then the other ones around it are down. So I kind of wanted it more towards the part that was up more, so I just switched the direction. But that was just my own view. But this is pretty much how you create this. They loved it when they received it. The school colors were blue, black, and white. So I added a little silver in there to give it a little razzle dazzle. But let me know what you think about this. And as always, thank you for watching.